What's going on, everybody? Happy Thursday to everyone. I am here with he's kind of a celebrity now. I don't know, man. The last time I talked to him, he was just a dude, but now he's a celebrity. We got Mr. Gold Bar Whiskey himself, Raj from RSF 49ers Live, YouTube, RSF 49ers Instagram and Facebook. What's going on, my man?
What's up? Real quick before we say anything, I just realized today's your birthday, boy. Happy birthday!
Yeah.
You didn't even tell me. I just found. I'm like, what is going? Happy
Yep.
birthday, Aaron.
Thank you.
Let's go,
Yay.
man. Happy birthday to my boy. Happy
44
birthday.
years old,
Let's
people. I'm
go, man. Everybody,
44.
everybody, wish this man a happy birthday in the comments. Like right now, I literally am just finding a happy birthday to my boy. Let's
Thank
go.
you. See, as you get older, for anybody else in the chat who knows, the older you get, the less you want to know people know your birthday.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That is
It's
true.
not you don't want that reminder of getting crusty,
It's
but
you know what's crazy? It's my mom's birthday too. So I called her
December 4th. It's also Kyle
December.
Shanahan's birthday.
It's Kyle Shanahan's. It's a Sagittarius day. Yeah, Kyle Shanahan, your birthday, my mom's birthday. Happy birthday to everybody has a birthday today.
Happy birthday to
But
Raj's mom.
yeah, good stuff. So I called her. We were talking to her, and my daughter. She's 15. She likes to hype everybody up with a birthday, and she's like, "Happy. I hope you have a good birthday." So she likes birthdays. She was hyping up my mom. So um,
Let's let's go in the comments real quick. We got a lot
let's
of people
do
in
it.
here.
Let's do it.
I don't know if you want to do it or I'll do it. We got
Go for it, baby. Go for it, baby.
got Raphael 562 in the building. Always is always checking in and saying what's up and watching the stream. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
sir.
We got Real Teal in here saying let's effing go, Raj. We got Christine Workman. Thank you so much for coming through. We got Renee Cruz in the house. Thank you very much. As usual, thank you. We got Rashad, aka, or is it man?
Rashad Akil. I think it's Rashad
Rashad
Akil.
Akil, 49ers.
Sir.
I threw up everybody's name. Thank you for coming through, my man. We got
Yes,
hey Peter Parker, long time to the channel. Thank you so much for coming through. We got Jimmy Perez. We got Miguel in the house. He says, "What's up, Aaron and Raj?" We got my better half, Jupiter Size. Hello. Man, let's go down the list here. We got a lot of people in this. They're mostly on your channel, but that's okay.
They ready to hop in. They're ready to hear the Niner talk, So
We got
shout out to
Omar
the
in the house. We have Carl Thomas in the house. Terrence Davis in the house. We got the one and only Laura Cat coming through. Thank you. Alex M. $. He says Bosa 2 sacks.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah. And so that's pretty much it. Yeah, full house in here.
Yes, sir.
Dude, we have a chance to clinch the NFC West with a victory Sunday in Arizona. Personally, I had talked to Ted yesterday. We really feel like this could be a trap game.
Ooh, you think so?
Yeah, just because it's the T-shirt and hat game, right?
Yeah.
T-shirt and hat game, right?
Yeah.
That's what they call when you win the division. It's called the T-shirt and hat game, and you overlook your opponent who has absolutely nothing to play for except to spoil your ass, right? We just got the number 1 seed, right? And we got to try to hold on to it to the end of the season so we get home field advantage. Let's talk a little bit about that number 1 seed and where we are. Are you worried about a fall off, a little bit of a trap game on Sunday? Or are you confident the Niners are going to make their way through it?
So yeah, that's a good question. A lot of people are thinking this is a trap game, and I don't question it. I don't think it's a bad take because the 49ers after this week, they have the Ravens. So it's easy to get caught up and look ahead. But you know what? The 49ers had their adversity. They've already had their stretch of games where they were like falling apart. And I think that really kind of helped them get through to where they're at. Because remember, they lost 3 games in a row. Brock Purdy had the concussion. It was looking bad. Trent Williams was hurt. Debo said, I mean, we were sitting here thinking about what first round draft pick are we got? Oh my God, are we going to make the play? They won 5 in a row, Aaron. They're number 1 seed in the NFC. They look unstoppable. They are a rolling force. They're on a heater, is what we like to call them. They're on a heater. And I think the 49ers are locked in. They're focused. I think Cardinals will play them tough. It is a division game. In respect to the Cardinals, they've played pretty competitive football for the most part through this season. New coach, Kyler Murray, coming back from injury. They got a lot of injuries, but they're playing with heart, man. And again, division rival. But I think the 49ers are going to be locked and loaded. And I know sometimes hat and t-shirt games, they can be one of those games where it's a humbling experience. Because I remember the 49ers, a ragtag team when they were 2017, Jimmy Garoppolo and the Niners had nothing to lose. And the Jaguars waltzed into Levi Stadium, and the Niners just dominated them. And it was a humbling experience for the Jaguars. They left, thinking it was going to be a hat and t-shirt game. They didn't get the hat and t-shirt game that they wanted. So I understand it. And I know a lot of people are thinking it's a trap game, but I really feel that 49ers are playing some of their best ball they've played, not just this year, in years. Like, they are humming, man. The defense is defensing. The offense is cooking. Debo, Purdy, Brandon Ayuk, contract season, George Kittle, Trent Williams, CMC, man. There's just too many players that are tearing it up. And I know they have injuries, and we're going to talk about it later, but they're just too star-studded, man. This team is just on a roll. I think they're going to be focused and the eyes on the prize, man. They have what it takes. I don't think they're going to fall apart against Arizona.
Got Chris in here. He says that I love this adversity, to be honest. Our defense is maybe 96% healthy, but our elite offense is humming. And 37-13 Niners, even with our banged up, rested defense for the Ravens. Cards will fold after. Yeah, I don't think the Niners are going to lose Sunday, but I just always think division games are wonky. For instance, the beginning of the game Sunday, Seattle, I was in a bad mood, man. That game was pissing me off.
A lot of people were.
They just look bad. I'm like, come on, man. Really? You talk all week about not being a trap or not getting a letdown game. It's not a letdown game. Kyle Shanahan talked about it. Whoa, there we go. There's Raj. He just jumped out. We'll move him back over. There we go. You actually popped out for a second. That was weird.
That was weird. I don't know what happened.
Something with my internet, probably. Yeah, so they had a game where the Niners, I don't know, it just started slow. It was a good quarter and a half before we got our crap together. But once we did, business as usual, right? So I kind of feel similar might happen with Arizona. I feel like maybe go in there and start kind of slow. It's it's going to be 60% 49er fans. That's what they're calling right now. It's like a 60-40 split.
Yeah.
San Francisco 49ers to Arizona Cardinals fans. So to me, it's just a matter of stemming the tide, getting over the little bit of maybe the bump in the beginning of the game, and then just going back and doing what you do. I mean, it's a Super Bowl caliber team, man. Even with all the injuries that we've been dealing with, I still think the 49ers, even with all those injuries, are still better than the Cardinals on their best day. So
absolutely. But you know what? Even though the 49ers have some injuries, their depth has been tremendous, man. Like, that's the great thing about the Niners. And it's good to really give these younger players a chance to kind of step up. And now we're getting to see guys like Kalia Davis, Javon Kinlaw, Jair Brown. These guys are playing pretty good football. And you know what? They can kind of continue to develop and hold the fort down until, guys like Armstead get back, until guys like Hargrave get back, Mooney Ward, they might play this weekend, but they might not. And if I'm going to be honest, let them rest, man. Let these guys rest. We know Dre Greenlaw is coming back to play this week. He's missed some practice this week, but Steve Wilkes said he's playing. So for the most part, I mean, yes, they are banged up a little bit, but they're not like super banged up. I know they got some injuries, but the backups they got are playing really well. Randy Gregory, Chase Young, they've been good. They've been putting Nick Bosa on the inside sometimes. Like, Nick Bosa's playing inside, outside. He's all over the place now. I think they're going to have – I mean, they got too much talent to sit there and fall apart on this game. And that's why I really feel like this is a championship caliber team, because the talent on this team is amazing. And you know what, man? This is Brock Purdy's homecoming game. Like, this is the Arizona boy. I posted about this yesterday. The Arizona boy's homecoming game, the pride of Arizona. This man he's not going to come into this game and drop a Dookie stain on this game, because guess what? He was talking today on his press conference, and they asked him, they said, "Are you family?" He's like, "Yeah, I got friends and family coming in to support me." He said, "I bought my close family tickets. They're going to be there. I already know, like, pregame, he's going to be dapping it up with his family. After the game, I already know there's going to be content showing, look at Brock with the family after the game. He's back in Arizona. His daddy's going
to be in the crowd. His daddy's probably going to be crying.
Dog, they're going to be, like, so hyped up for this man. I think Brock's going to have a tremendous game, a home crowd for him, or a home game for him. It's the homecoming. I think this means a lot to Brock, and we'll talk about him later. The MVP candidate, Brock Purdy, the NFC Air Player of the Week for the third time this season. This guy's cooking it, man. I just think that Brock's going to go out, homecoming. He's going to feel the vibes, and the Niners are going to take this dub. But I think the Cardinals are going to try their hardest, man. They're a team that wants to compete and continue to build for the future. And I think they got pride on the line, but I don't see a letdown coming up, Aaron.
I don't either. I just think division games are always going to be wonky. So there's
Absolutely.
always they're weird. I don't know.
Absolutely.
It's just it's Arizona, but like I see a focused Brock Purdy. I feel like he is the straw that stirs the drink. There's a lot of people all season who have been not giving him his flowers, and now there's people, even someone as hardcore as Ted, my boy Ted from Ted Talks Ball. He's really having a hard time. He said, really, really finding anything wrong with Brock Purdy's game at this point. At this point, it's really, how far can we go? And I really think with health and the home field advantage, if we can get it, I think we will make it to Las Vegas for the Super Bowl. I really do. And if that happens, watch out, NFL. We're about to get number 6, regardless of who we play.
Yeah.
I told my brother this year, I said, I feel like we can beat anybody.
Absolutely.
There's not one team in the NFL that I'm very much, the Ravens are really good. That might be our stiffest test, but then again, we don't know. I mean, we said that about the Cowboys and the Eagles, and we smashed both of them. So don't expect that we'll smash the Ravens, but you got to maybe the Niners are just that good, man, and maybe it's their year. Maybe it's just their year.
Maybe. What if they drop 42 points on the Ravens? Well, we're getting ahead of ourselves. We got to think about the Cardinals. But if the 49ers can get first seed in the NFC, I mean, it's going to be hard to beat this team in their house. I mean, I'm telling you, man, if the playoffs run through San Francisco 49ers home stadium at Levi's, man, I just don't see teams beating them. And you're right. And we'll be punching our tickets to Vegas, and I'll be there, man. My mom lives in Vegas, so I'll go down, visit old mom there and say, what's up? I'm coming down to visit, but I'm going to the Super Bowl. So I really
hope. Raj is going down. Yeah.
Yeah. If Niners make Super Bowl, I don't have to pay for room and board. I just got to get down to Vegas and stay at my mom's house, and then I'll figure the rest out. But
hi, Mom.
I got a lot of.
Are you ready to cook for me?
Yeah, cook up some good Indian grub. I'm going to the Super Bowl. Get ready. But yeah, man, I'm excited for this stretch run here. Definitely, if the 49ers clinching on Sunday would be the first step, in getting to that point. You're right. They got to stay focused. You can't lose sight at the prize, because if they lose this weekend, I mean, kiss the number 1 seed goodbye. Although not necessarily, though, because the Dallas Cowboys have a tough schedule. They got Buffalo, Miami, and they have Detroit coming up. Philadelphia has a game against Seattle this week on Monday Night Football. And Philadelphia also has the surprising Giants to finish out the season. The Giants, Tommy DeVito, this guy's playing out of control. You never know, man. But I think the 49ers right now, again, their biggest test coming up is the Ravens. But you can't take any team lightly, man. Any game is Sunday. But again, like I said, is one of the things is you just got to trust these younger players. And I'm excited. I think these younger players are hungry, and there's enough veterans to kind of make sure there's stability on the roster and everybody's getting the job done. This team is just so locked in, man. That's the best way to explain it, is they're locked in. And I like a lot of these younger players. One guy in particular, I know you want to talk about him today. Let's talk about Jair Brown. This guy has been absolutely great so far. He's a rookie. Has he been elite? No, but he's really showing some promise. Like, they caught him on there's a video going around, sideline sounds the 49ers posted. There's a clip of him like just breaking down the secondary huddle. Sounds like a 10-year vet. And then today on the Richard Sherman podcast, Richard Sherman was just gloating about Jair Brown, and he was very well spoken on the podcast. And Richard Sherman basically compared him to, he says, you remind me of myself when I was your age. He goes, that's a big compliment for Richard Sherman.
That's a huge compliment.
So
he's going to be a Hall of Famer, Richard Sherman.
I know. And Jair, he's a playmaker. He has a knack for the ball. He's got good instincts. He's a great coverage safety. He's good in the box. He can hit. He's a thumper. He's got that veteran mentality. He's going to be a special one. Now you can really see why the 49ers went and traded up for this guy. And I love Hufanga. That's going to be a great duo in the future. But I honestly think that Jair's potential is going to be greater than Hufanga. And that's scary, because those two guys are going to be a dynamic duo, man. And the good thing about Jair, he's got some great veterans right now on the team to really help mold him. You got Deshaun Gibson, you got Logan Ryan, and now Jason Verrett. All three of those guys are there to really shape this young man. So I'm excited. What do you think about Jair Brown?
I was worried a little bit in the first game when he got, they threw on him and he gave up that big play. But they always say when they don't call your name, that means you're doing something right. Like if you're out there and you're not being targeted or you're not being spotlighted on television about how you're making mistakes, that interception that he made on Drew Lock was perfect safety play.
Yeah.
Perfect. He looked like a guy that's been doing it for a really long time. I'm through the moon with him. I actually look at him as a potential player to where if the Niners need to make a move, they might move on from a guy like Talanoa Hufanga in order to keep a guy like Jair Brown on lesser money so that they can make another move in another place. Like, I don't know, maybe eventually, maybe they keep, oh my God, Chase Young. I don't know.
But also, you got to realize this. It's not a bad take. I know people are going to be like, oh, my God, you can't get rid of Talanoa. But at some point, you also got to realize.
That's great.
We'll talk about that.
But
yes, we will. At some point, Aaron, you got to realize they got to replace Trent Williams. And it's not that easy. I was talking to someone today. He's a Hall of Fame left tackle. You don't just replace a Hall of Fame left tackle with any geek off the street. It's going to be a tough one. Yeah, you can't replace him easily. I don't know if they're going to do that through the draft or free agency or trade. But, yeah, that's a guy that if Jair Brown's a superstar in the making, you can keep him, get rid of some other guys so you can keep or maybe go trade for a Tristan Wirfs or somebody, because that's a position the 49ers really have to make sure they solidify. When Trent Williams, if the 49ers win a Super Bowl, Aaron, put it this way. If the 49ers win a Super Bowl, I think Trent Williams retires. He rides off in the sunset.
Absolutely. Anybody who thinks otherwise, they're like, no, Trent's not going to retire. Why would you come back?
There's no reason.
If you walk off with a trophy and, there's so many players on this team that deserve the Lombardi. Mm-hmm. But if there's one guy that deserves it more than anybody, it's a guy like Trent Williams, man, all the, with the cancer and all the stuff that he's had to deal with. And now, he's had injuries here and there and he's been in the league a long time.
Yeah.
What a better way to go out. So yeah, and we talked to Depressed Niners fan. Remember, you have to change your name if we win the Super Bowl.
Yes, make it.
We've already made that. We talked about this last week, so you can't be Depressed Niner fan anymore. Who are the Raiders playing tonight? By the way,
I'm watching right now. It's 42-0 against the Chargers. This is disgusting. 42-0. I'm watching this. If Brandon Staley, the head coach of the Chargers, is not fired tomorrow morning, I don't know what to tell you, Aaron. This is the most despicable it's been a half of football. Throw the towel in. This is a half of football. They scored 42 points on them.
Don't they have? Oh, no, Bosa's out, isn't he?
Bosa, Herbert's out. But guess what? The Raiders last week scored 0 points. They lost 3-0. They're putting up 42 points. They're taking every single aggression out of losing last week 3-0 and dumping it on them. Unbelievable.
Depressed Niner fan says, yes, I already have 2 backup names to change if we win the Super Bowl. All right, cool.
Oh, man.
As long as you're on that.
Yeah. The sad thing is if the 49ers lose the Super Bowl, he's still going to be Depressed Niners fan.
He's definitely going to be Depressed Niners fan. I'm going to change my name to 49er First Depressed.
I'll be our Depressed 49ers. Our depressed 49ers.
RSF Depressed. Oh my God. Yeah. The game. Drago. If he dies, he dies.
He dies.
I love Red Jet with her 80s references. One way to be a friend or someone that I like is if you get my humor and if you get my references.
Mm-hmm.
And for the most part, most of the young cats around now, like when I worked at certain jobs, I could never talk to them about anything because they were all born too late. Get on YouTube and all of a sudden everybody understands my crap. So
I love it. Yeah, I work around old folks every day, so they get all the lingo. They teach me lingo that I'd never even heard of. So, it is what it is. But so speaking of this weekend, moving forward. So what do you think about the 49ers defense, man? They've just been stone cold over the last couple of weeks. Sideline Steve moved down, right? He came out of the booth. Chase Young, Randy Gregory. We talked about all these great weapons and these younger players moving on the team. And the secondary to me has just been probably the biggest surprise. With the rush now putting all the pressure on quarterbacks, the secondary has extra time, and they've been very physical. Diamond Lenore, Ambry Thomas, Mooney Ward. These three guys have been lights out, man. What do you think about the secondary lately, Aaron?
I was shocked how well we played after that initial touchdown that we gave up to DK Metcalf. We lost Javarius Ward, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So Javarius Ward's out. So we had to switch. We got Ambry Thomas on the outside. We have Demo on the outside. We have Isaiah Oliver, who, as soon as he came in, he gave up a catch. It was unbelievable. I'm like, here we go. Like, that got me mad. I was like, here we go. As soon as he came in, he gave up a catch.
Mm-hmm.
So, but other than that, really, they played amazing last week. I was shocked. I think maybe we kind of took some shots at Steve Wilkes about, oh, yeah, he's a secondary guy, but guys don't play any better. And then all of a sudden the pass rush gets better. And now the secondary looks pretty good.
Yeah.
And they looked really good last week. And the pass rush wasn't doing anything in the first half of the game anyways.
Huh.
They got most of their sacks in the second half, if not all of them. So I thought the secondary played lights out. I thought Jair Brown that we mentioned is playing as if he's been playing. I don't see any drop off at all with Talanoa Hufanga being out, which I thought would absolutely happen.
Yeah.
I am concerned though why maybe they don't take Womack and put him in the slot as opposed to I don't know if it's just a matter of like keeping it that way just in case. Maybe as an emergency situation. And then of course, as we know, Jason Verrett was signed to the practice squad on Monday.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And now it's just a matter of, does he help the Niners down the stretch? A lot of people, including myself, really aren't expecting a whole lot out of him. He's been injured his whole career, other than like 1 or 2 seasons. He's only played like 40 games out of a possible hundreds.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, they really look good. And Arizona, to me, doesn't seem to have anything in the wide receiving core that really scares me. I know their tight end's okay, but I've been pretty overall impressed.
Yeah, overall, I've been impressed about the secondary too, because that was the big, worry. Second half of the season, they better be able to cover these receivers. We got some big receivers coming up, and yeah, shout out to Steve Wilkes, man. He came and he's really made a big difference, man. Moving Ambry Thomas to the outside has been amazing. He got rid of Isaiah Oliver in the slot, and that was huge. And I like Womack, but I think he's still learning, and he's a good special teamer right now. His time will come. But, man, Diamond Lenore, man, this guy has been playing great football. He's been very, physical, and he's strapping players down. And I think that's why you can't put anybody else in the slot, because Lenore, he's an outside corner. But they moved him to the inside. First game, it was a little transition, but ever since, man, he's really taken that slot spot, and he's just handling it well. And then this weekend, like you said, they had to move him back outside because Charvarius Ward was hurt, and he played great on DK Metcalf. And shout out to Lenore, man. I've been a guy that's really been touting him, and people always, Lenore, he's playing great, man. He's playing good football. And yeah, Ambry Thomas, another guy who's really come in, and he's got the second opportunity to really prove himself, and he's making the most of it. So shout out to Steve Wilkes, really teaching these young guys. It took a little time, but now we can see Steve Wilkes' defensive philosophy is really coming to bat. And he took a lot of hate early on this season, but I'm really loving the secondary, man. And hopefully Mooney Ward's healthy. He is dealing with the groin injury. He doesn't, we don't know if he's going to be able to play this weekend. But in the meantime, they do have some veterans, Logan Ryan and Jason Verrett, and Eric Harris. They've got some guys. I don't think Jason Verrett's going to do too much right now. He's a depth piece, but you never know. He's a guy that wants to prove himself. Like he said that the team has welcomed him with big open arms. He says he didn't even consider retirement through all the stuff this guy has been through.
Nick Bosa said he's been an inspiration.
Inspiration, exactly. He's an absolute inspiration. And today, all across Levi's, they had welcome home Jason Verrett. Like you saw the pictures, everybody was posting, on like all the beat writers. They walked in and everywhere
class
is
personified right
God,
there.
man. The team loves this guy. The fans love this guy. The players look up to Jason Verrett because he is an inspiration, like Bosa said. The fact that every year he gets down and he keeps pushing and keeps pushing, and he tries because one day he wants to be able to play and show that he's an amazing player because he is. If he was ever healthy through his career, we'd be talking about a Hall of Fame cornerback. And this organization has given this man opportunities. It's because he may not even step on the field for this team, but he's a mentor. He's a leader. He's like a father figure to these guys. He's kind of like a Richard Sherman, where he was like another coach on the field. So although we may not see him on the field, his impact is going to be held. Like these guys, Diamond Lenore, man, when he came. So this weekend, when Jason Verrett was in the locker room and they announced, yeah, they're signing him to the practice squad, you saw the video where they're all like embracing him.
Yeah,
and
he was in the tunnel. He was in the tunnel,
bro,
or he was in the building after the game.
they love him. They love this guy.
You know what it is, bro? I think I really believe they're going to win the Super Bowl this year. If there's one guy that deserves a ring for perseverance, for putting all the work in year after year with all the severe injuries that he's had, is Verrett.
Yeah,
it's Verrett.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of guys. There's a lot of guys on this roster who have put in a lot of work in over many years that deserve a championship. Like for instance, on the coaching staff, our running back coach, he's been a coach a long time.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name?
Bobby Turner.
Bobby Turner. I think he's got a couple Super Bowls already back with the old Shanahan, but why not get another one?
Might as well, yeah. Frank Gore. Frank Gore's on the front office.
Frank Gore. I mean, it's not the same as getting it as a player. Deshaun Goldston. It's not the same as getting it as a player. Hell, why don't they bring in Jerry Rice? He could be an assistant, and then they can get him.
I'm sure he'll somehow get a ring because he's like the team ambassador or some shit.
Me and my brother are like, he's so ridiculous. He goes, but Jared. Then I told Jared, I said, he's the GOAT, man.
He is.
And he's like, my brother's like, you're right. He can do whatever he wants.
He can do whatever he wants. Did you see that video where he comes up to Brock, pats him on the back?
That was awesome.
That was awesome, dude. So they asked him, actually, Larry Krueger asked him, because I talked to him yesterday, and he says, what question should I ask Brock? I said, you've got to ask him about Brock Purdy. And what did Jerry write? He's like, yeah, I was thinking that. So Larry Krueger asked him the question. He says, so Brock, what did Jerry tell you? And this is what Brock says. He goes, go out there and ball, young man. I was like, okay, Jerry telling you to go out there and ball, young man. And the way he's like so nonchalant, he was calm. And it's like, dude, if Jerry Rice,
he didn't even react.
I know.
You almost were like, do you know who that is that's tapping you on the ass, dude?
Can you imagine if Jerry Rice came up to you and he walks up to you, he looks at you and he goes, yo, go out there and ball, young man. Like, I'd be like, okay, Jerry, I'll go out there, bro. Purdy's
and he did just so.
No, dude. And Purdy was like, okay, yeah, man, cool. And the way he explained it today was just like so nonchalant. Oh, yeah, it was nothing big, just the basic, go out there and ball, young man. He goes, he just tapped me in the back and says, go out there and ball, young man. I was like, that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
So
if Jerry Rice or Joe Montana, Joe Montana would never do it because he'd have to get paid. But
yeah.
I'm sorry. I grew up being the biggest Joe Montana mark of all time, but old Joe Montana just doesn't sit well with me. I like old Jerry Rice, and you got to pay Joe Montana for everything.
Trust me, I know, because we worked with them.
Bashar's like, well, they didn't get paid as much back then, Aaron, so they got to make their money somehow. Yeah, but he's not even trying to be coy about it, dude.
Oh no,
I think Jerry Rice comes to 49er games on his own dime.
Yeah, he does. He goes there. Well, but he's Jerry Rice. He's got all these sponsorships.
I don't even. But I'll tell you what. Does he pay, or do they just let him in? Like, why would you?
Come on, it's Jerry Rice. You going to charge that man?
No,
you don't charge that man. But
he's the greatest football player that's ever lived, man.
I can't tell you too much. I don't want to give the man's personal, but yeah, Joe Montana charges a steep penny for promo rate. So yeah,
I had a feeling about that. I wasn't surprised. Speaking of,
but you know what? I would.
Speaking of Joe Montana and speaking of promos and promotions and
okay,
let's talk about. I don't know if you guys are on Instagram, but if you do, you need to go to Raj's Instagram. I'll let you take it. I'd like you to take it from here. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we've been sponsored through the year. We always do some stuff, but we got. Speaking of Joe Montana, look at that. This is the Joe Montana Gold Bar Whiskey. Gold Bar Whiskey. Proud enough to sponsor your boy. I'm happy for them to be a sponsor. They are the official whiskey of the San Francisco 49ers. So you probably see this everywhere. So they're an official sponsor of RSF 49ers. We're going to be doing a lot of work with them. So pretty cool, man. Actually, I'm going to the game this weekend. on Gold Bar Whiskey. So I'm be at Arizona. So shout out to the sponsors, Gold Bar Whiskey. We love you guys. Shout out to my boy Sam out there, helping me out, making this happen. I'm sure there's going to be more opportunities in the future. We've been doing 12 days of Joe Montana, so it's a giveaway. We're running a promo, and every day there's a video posted. And if you follow the instructions, you have a chance to win $100. So it's pretty cool. We give away stuff, and that's the beauty of it is we help people get stuff, and people love giveaways. So I've got a couple more things in the works with them. We did a ticket giveaway earlier this year with Gold Bar Whiskey. So you never know. It's cool to have sponsors because they help people grow and become bigger and better. And so I love Gold Bar, and I got a couple other sponsors. We got the Residency. We all know about that. Promo code RSF 49ers, and also became sponsored with Sleeper Fantasy. So big things cooking, Aaron, but I couldn't have done it without the faithful and the fans and everybody out there. So appreciate you guys.
I am so happy for you. And everybody, if you don't follow Raj already, which of course most of you who are in here right now do, go to RSF 49ers Live. Go to RSF 49ers on Instagram and on Twitter. Dude. Everybody knows who 49er Minded is. Most of you who know who Bashar is. He sent me that video of, Raj doing this ad looks like a professional. I was just like, who's that guy? Oh, wait a minute. I know him. Like it was, if you got a chance, go to Raj's. Raj, you need to put it on your community tab or something and show people.
I should, yeah.
Your acting, well, it isn't really acting. I guess it's acting. I don't know. Your promotion chops.
It was good, but shout out to my boy.
You did really well, and you're really natural. You weren't like, I'm RSF. What's my name again? Like you knew exactly who you remembered who you were.
Yeah, I appreciate you. I mean, we talk live every day, so I kind of, and as a physical therapist, I talk to patients that are probably dying. So you gotta stay, grounded. And I feel like public speaking for me is something I've done for a long time. It's never been, it's not always easy, but I think over the years I've gotten, more comfortable doing it, especially when you work in healthcare. You're in front of people and you can't be nervous. Doing what you got to do. But
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
the kind words, and shout out to my man Ken though. Ken's the one that makes me look good. So that's my guy from 49ers Tailgate.
I want to let people in on this that don't know. See, there's a lot of people out there, a lot of creators that are really big that don't ever even let the thought go into their mind of doing anything with anybody who doesn't really bring a lot of eyes to their channel. And Raj has been he not struggled, but he had his other channel, and he's tried to bring this channel up because of the other one. For whatever reason, he had to start his new channel, and so he's trying to build the YouTube side of it back up. The Instagram side is huge. Most people who have massive followings don't mess with people who don't move the needle. And the fact that he streams with guys like myself, 49er Minded, and among others, it's a testament to the person that he doesn't think he's, God tier. And if he ever decided that maybe he needed to move on from some of us, I would get it. But at this point, that hasn't happened. But, it means a lot that, he's taken the time to do that. So if any, Raj is definitely the realist. That is true, Russell. So I just want to say thank you from my side of it.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it. It's always fun talking. I mean, I like having co-hosts. Sometimes it's just easier, and it's always good to talk with you. I feel like we have a good vibe, so I appreciate it. And, you guys are my people. You guys are my friends. It's always cool, and I don't think there's anybody that's better than anybody. So, people that don't want to spend time with the other creators is crazy to me. We're all here in the same community. We're all talking about the same things to the same people. So, I'm no better than anybody else. So appreciate the kind words, and just got to keep pushing, man. That's how you get bigger and better, as you just keep on grinding and you help people, and the community sees it, and that's what it's all about, man. So appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, Big Aaron.
I didn't even realize you had 300K on IG. Ooh, baby.
Yeah, we hit that this weekend, but
that's insane. I turned 44. I hit 7K on YouTube. Not that it really, affects anything in the live stream views, but a lot of my, other stuff. But appreciate that for anybody who is subscribed or is in here that has subscribed. I appreciate it very much. A lot of milestones this week, man.
I know, milestones. How about
a lot of milestones, birthdays, all that happy stuff. Okay, let's trying to think what else we can talk about. Let's talk about the matchups that are left. Who scares you the most? I pretty much assume you're going to say Baltimore.
Yeah, Baltimore's probably the big matchup, right? Because they got Lamar Jackson, they got a great coach, they got a great defense. That's a Super Bowl potential, matchup. That's the matchup that 49ers might even play the Ravens down the line. Who knows in the Super Bowl? So I think the Ravens right now are the best team in the AFC. The AFC is still wide open. And the 49ers, to me, are the best team in the NFC. So it could be a Super Bowl preview, Aaron. And they're a tough team. Christmas Day, Monday Night Football. You never know what's going to happen, man. That's going to be a fun one. I think the 49ers, though, their schedule is kind of tough, even though they got some opponents they should win because, okay, you got Arizona. That should be a game, but you can't overlook them because after that, you got Christmas against the Ravens. That's a big game. And then right after that, New Year's Eve against the Commanders. It's a New Year's Eve game right after Christmas, another holiday game. And then the week after that, you finish out with the Rams, who kind of are pushing for a playoff spot. They don't want to be beat by the Niners. And
Rams are not a lay down team, man.
No.
They got Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua.
They're good, man.
Stafford.
They got a solid team, and they don't want to be embarrassed by the Niners again. We've been crushing them. And if the 49ers win that game, Aaron, that would be back-to-back years where they swept the NFC West. Do you think these teams want to be embarrassed by the Niners? Absolutely not. So it's going to be – I think the 49ers can run the table to finish out the season. But I think a lot of it's going to depend on that Ravens game. Can they beat the Ravens? If the 49ers beat the Ravens, I'm pretty sure they're going to have the number one seed. So it's the biggest game left on the roster.
We got to look at this weekend too. We got to look at the fact that we got to hope Seattle beats the Eagles.
That's true.
Which gives us a bump.
Yeah.
And if we lose a game, we still have the number one seed, and we got to hope Dallas loses one of their two opponent, a couple opponents or one opponent. So the Niners, even if they lose a game, so I'm pushing for Seattle to win. I'm pushing for Buffalo to beat the Cowboys.
Yeah, I agree.
I can't believe I got to cheer for the Bills. Bills fans make me sick.
I know. It's crazy.
They drive me nuts. They're so I don't know. I'm not even going to go in there because a lot of them I'm related to. My uncle's a Bills fan. Just some of them make me crazy.
Yeah, they're crazy, dude.
What do you have any information about the Zach Ertz situation? That you can share?
Honestly, I don't know much about it. I know last week they told us, there's a chance he's one of the guys they like. He's going to make his decision soon. Maybe Zach Ertz is just waiting to figure out who's the number one seed. I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I have no clue what's going on. I know the 49ers are a team that's interested, but other than that, man, we don't know what's going on with Zach Ertz. I would love to see him sign with the Niners because I don't want him to sign with another team. And, Ross Dwelly's dealing with the high ankle sprain. I think it makes sense. Bring him in. You have another solid tight end behind George Kittle, and it'll make this offense a little bit more dangerous. You take pressure off of Kittle, and now you can't double team. If you get a guy like Zach Ertz, a bona fide receiving threat as a tight end, imagine 2 tight end sets with George Kittle and Zach Ertz for Kyle Shanahan. So,
Niners are trying to win a ring this year, man.
Yeah.
Everything's an option.
Everything at this point.
Deion could come out of retirement.
No way. He could.
Well, not old Deion, like young Deion. If we could get a time portal. Yeah.
Jeez.
Greedy Greg 415 says, "Did you see Uncle Sherm say fire Chargers coach?"
Yeah,
at halftime?
I saw the tweet. He said, "Get him out of there."
They quit on him a long time ago. That is one of the biggest underperforming squads I've ever seen. All that talent, and they suck every year.
Every single year.
Every year they suck.
You want to know
and everyone's like, but they got their quarterback he's good. He's got a big arm. Woo!
Let's talk about quarterback. Okay, so Justin Herbert out for the season, and everybody says Justin Herbert, he's great. He's great. He's great. He's the best quarterback. He's one of the highest paid quarterbacks. I mean, I got respect for Herbert. He definitely does have potential. He's on a team with a shitty head coach, and then you got other quarterbacks that are supposed to be really great. But the best quarterback in the league this year, by far and away, has been Brock Purdy. But nobody wants to listen to
baby.
Number 13. Nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to give him his flowers. You got people that say Dak's better. Brock Purdy beat Dak. People say Jalen Hurts is better. Brock Purdy beat Jalen Hurts. People say Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback this year. Patrick Mahomes is having a down year. I still think he's the best quarterback in the league. Definitely better than Brock Purdy. But Brock Purdy's season is better than Patrick Mahomes this year. Now, granted, he has garbage receivers. But still, Brock Purdy's having a better year than Patrick Mahomes. And then Josh Allen. People say Josh Allen's a better quarterback. Josh Allen is a turnover machine. a turnover machine. He's very inconsistent. Okay. And then you got people that say, "Oh well, Brock's just a system guy. He's just a." They still want to roll with this thing.
Cam
They
Newton.
just cannot give this man his credit. Brock, what is it going to take? This man is the leading NFC vote getter for the Pro Bowl. Like, what is it going to take to let Brock Purdy get his damn flowers, man? This guy leads in almost every statistical category. Let me pull up these stats. This man is balling out of control, my guy. Let's see. Let me pull up all his stats because it's pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive. Look at this.
It's pretty
Brock
impressive.
Purdy. It's pretty impressive. Look at this guy. He has he has 27. Let's see. He is passer rating 138.5. It's number 2 in the NFL. His completion percentage is about 70%. It's number 1 in the NFL. He has the second most touchdowns in the league, tied for 25. He has the third most passing yards, third in the league. Like, this guy is number 1 in QBR. Almost every statistical category, he's like top of the books. But they just want to say, "Oh, it's the Yak brothers. Oh, well, it's this, it's that." But guess what, man? When Patrick Mahomes was MVP, he had the highest yak percentage of all quarterbacks that year. And then the other thing is, like, against the blitz, Brock Purdy's the best quarterback against the blitz. He's throwing touchdowns. He's getting the ball out quick. He is throwing the ball deeper. He even said today and on CamBR the other day that his arm feels the best it's felt in his entire career. He says he's feeling like he's throwing the deep ball better than he ever has. And we've noticed that. He's stretching the ball down the field. He's pushing the ball down the field. I don't know, man. The media just does not want to accept that Brock Purdy is a good quarterback.
Nobody's gonna take a guy that was drafted last and
Yeah.
looks like he does and is the size that he is for some reason. Can't just be a bit. I mean, the voters. If he has better stats at the end of the day than everybody else, I mean, what's the reason? If it's based off of stats, right? If it's based off of stats and he has better stats than Dak and everybody else, like, what's going to be the reason? You just going to give it to Dak simply because Dak deserves it from the past? Or are you going to give it to a guy that, that music that people always play on those little shorts? Nobody believes in you again and again and again. That one, like, that's who I think of when I think of that. I think of Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy, to me, regardless, I don't think he's too concerned with individual awards. I think this whole 49ers team is concerned about winning a chip.
Yeah, I agree.
And then whatever happens after that happens.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're right. As far as this team not concerned about individual, like, I'm sure they would love to have the accolades, but in the grand scheme of things, the big bowl they're thinking about is the Pro Bowl, or sorry, the Super Bowl, not the Pro Bowl. Although, like, most of the 49ers are leading the league in, like, Pro Bowl votes. And I think a lot of it is because our social media accounts, like the big pages like me, we just keep saying retweet and go vote, so we're helping the cause out. Obviously, Niner fans love to, vote for their guys. But, man, the 49ers, if you really think about it, their whole team might be in the freaking Pro Bowl, man. It's crazy. Like, if you were to look at this roster right now, Aaron, how many players do you think make the Pro Bowl? Like, it's crazy. All of them, you could probably make an argument for almost every position to have a player from the 49ers.
Bosa, Hargrave, Chase Young,
Warner,
Greenlaw, Javarius Ward, McCaffrey, Debo, Kittle,
Trent Williams,
Brock
Purdy,
that's 11.
Kyle Juszczyk,
that's 12.
That's crazy, dude. 12 players at the very least.
Yeah, Chris made a good point.
Mitch Wishnowsky.
Yep.
Tabor Pepper.
That would be Tabor Pepper. Yep. Yeah. So that's 13 players.
Yeah.
We are not going to the Pro Bowl, Super Bowl chance, baby.
But that's the whole point is that's how loaded this team is. You have potentially 13 players that could be on a Pro Bowl. Like, that's how good this team is, guys. Like, if they
live in the moment, people live in the moment. Stop trying to overanalyze everything.
If they play their chips right and everything goes the way it needs to go, this is the team, Aaron. This is the team.
Yeah, I'm not a person who's a betting man. Vegas seems to think the 49ers are going to win the Super Bowl, but still got to play the games. We haven't accomplished anything yet. We got to take care of business in Arizona.
I know.
Injuries can happen. That's the one thing that could derail this whole thing. Injuries. Speaking of that, before we get out of here, any thoughts on the injury list? It's pretty large.
Yeah, let's bring that up. And like I said earlier, I know there's a lot of injuries, but the good news is, if there is good news about injuries, is the fact that the 49ers have great depth, Aaron. So I'm
They
gonna
do have great depth.
let's break these down. Okay, so you have this is from Nick Wagner. His so there's a couple of injuries this morning, or players that didn't show up in practice. He had Ark Armstead. Obviously, he's dealing with the foot and the ankle. He's not expected to play this week. Ross Dwelly, he's a tight end who's not going to play this weekend, and he has a high ankle sprain. You have Elijah Mitchell dealing with the knee injury. Dre Greenlaw did not practice, but today Steve Wilks said that Dre Greenlaw is expected to play this weekend. So he didn't practice, but he's ready to rock and roll. Oren Burks did not practice today, and he's got knee tendonitis. He's going to miss a couple of weeks, so he didn't practice. This is a guy that, he's a solid guy. He's a good backup linebacker. He's a good third linebacker. He's a good depth piece and a special teamer. But I think that Oren Burks not being there is going to open the door for some guys. I know they like Demetrius Flanagan-Fowles, but I really hope that a guy like D. Winters or Jalen Graham gets an option. Those guys are young guys that I think they have bright futures with the 49ers. They're the best team at getting linebackers. So if anybody can absorb any type of injury, it's the 49ers. Javon Hargrave, Mooney Ward, they worked on the side. They did not practice today. Kyle did say they have a chance to play this weekend, but if I'm Kyle Shanahan, I let him rest, man. We need this team to be 100% healthy for the Ravens and moving forward. And then Spencer Burford, who missed some practice earlier, he's back in. And that's good news that Spencer Burford's back in, because earlier today, it was noted that Aaron Banks did not practice today because of hip injury. So if Aaron Banks can't practice and play, then you can move Feliciano to left guard, and Spencer Burford can stay at right guard. So depth is great. The depth is great.
Yeah, the Niners are a little dinged up at the end of the year. None of their injuries are really like season enders.
No.
If they're just, the Niners just need to make it through the final week, get that bye, and then I think everybody's going to be fresh.
Absolutely.
So, pretty much that's going to wrap it up for us. Raj has to get going.
Yeah.
But appreciate everybody coming through and supporting the stream. It means a lot to us, especially Raj. Raj is trying to be. Raj is he's on the come up. So watch him. It's happening.
I appreciate you, Aaron. We're trying. We're building this, and
yep.
I appreciate you, man.
I just like being in his presence. If whatever I can gleam off of that, I'll take. But that's going to do it for us. Everybody have a great rest of your Thursday. We'll see you next week. Hopefully we're talking about NFC West champs and a victory. And until next time, everybody stay safe, stay healthy, and go Niners. See you, everyone.
Peace.
Peace.